this level of dishonesty, you know, not telling half truths, not being completely transparent what it actually says. I did come across a recent video where you guys were interacting with Uthman. I think it's Uthman. Am I saying his name right? Uthman. Of Uthman, what he said concerning Mary and Joseph, and he left out important details that were located in the Catholic Encyclopedia.
Completely misrepresented him. So what he said was, and this is the problem. They say everything with such confidence that a person who doesn't know any better just thinks, oh, this person's giving me accurate information. If you don't know what's in the Catholic Encyclopedia, so this is perfectly normal. I mean, how many people, especially non-Catholics, are familiar with what's in the Catholic Encyclopedia? So, but he'll say, oh, you're criticizing this, but don't you know that Mary was 12 when Joseph married her, according to the Catholic Encyclopedia? According to the Catholic Encyclopedia. Why are you looking it up? What are you, stupid? Oh my goodness, this Christian doesn't know that Mary was 12. It's according to the Catholic Encyclopedia. So there would be a number of issues there, like a number of problems. Like one, just like obviously, if Joseph did marry her when she was 12, Joseph is not our pattern of conduct. He's not saying, hey, whatever Joseph did, you guys need to do. That's not the case with Muhammad. Muhammad's a pattern of conduct. So if he married if he had sex with a 9-year-old, and he's the pattern of conduct, that's an issue for the world to be concerned about. Joseph, what if we found a document that it turns out Joseph was an axe murderer? Oh no, he's not a pattern of conduct for us. What are you talking about? Jesus is our pattern, right? Yeah. So there are issues like that. But at the end of the day, it's completely false. You go to the Catholic Encyclopedia, which we did to expose it, to expose what was being said. We go to the Catholic Encyclopedia, and what it says is, given the culture of the time, 12 would have been the minimum age at which someone could have been married. So as far as like what's possible, 12 years old is possible. But they say 12 for the marriage, and then it would have been a couple years past that as the minimum for when the Annunciation would have taken place. And then it says, but we have no sources, so we don't know. So think about this. This would be like saying, if I said, oh, I know that someone got married in Alabama. I wonder how old the person was when she got married. You say, oh, well, the minimum age there, I don't know what it is. Let's say it's 16 or something like that. Oh, the minimum age is 16. So it could have been as young as 16, but we have no idea. That would be like concluding, oh, okay, she was definitely 16 because that's the minimum age for marriage. That's what the Catholic Encyclopedia says. We have no idea. We have no sources on this. So we don't know. Here's the minimum. And they take that and they say, you see, it says that Mary, and by the way, if you go to the sources that are even used to establish that, they're like 3rd and 4th and 5th century sources. And those sources were meant for people who start objecting. Wait a minute, how can you say Mary was a perpetual virgin? How can you believe? So why would she be a perpetual virgin after Jesus is born? And so in response to that, they said, Joseph was really old and Mary was really young. That's why the marriage was never consummated. But even the Catholic Encyclopedia says it calls them fantasies. They're people who are making stuff up in later centuries, saying that she's young. But you can go with the youngest age that was suggested. You still don't get something that would justify being with a 9-year-old. But at the end of the day, they say we have no record. And here's the thing: if Muslims want to say, hey, we're going to go with this 5th century source that says Mary was young, she was 12 or 14 or something like that. Those same sources say that the marriage was never consummated and that Joseph was actually taking her on like as a daughter figure to protect her. And so where are you getting that this justifies sex with a little girl, when if you go to the later source that even Catholics say, we don't take these seriously. These are later stories that were written specifically to respond to objections. You have no reliable source. And if you want to go to a later source that gives some young age, those sources say she never had sex. So, and that sex was never the intention. How is this a justification? That's not, they don't present anything accurately. What do they say? They say, according to the Catholic Encyclopedia, Mary was 12. Doesn't say that. Says you can't trust those sources. In other words, it says the opposite of what they're saying it says. But they know people aren't going to go and look it up. And so they just don't care. And so it's totally fine for them. And you pointed out, they don't correct themselves. They don't say, oh, I'm sorry, I was wrong.